Good afternoon and welcome to historic Joint Base Myer-Henderson Hall. Originally established as Fort Whipple in 1863 and changed to Joint Base Myer-Henderson Hall in 2009. Its main purpose was fortification in the defense of Washington. Since its inception, Joint Base Myer-Henderson Hall has been the home of horse cavalry, artillery, and infantry. Today, it is home to the Old Guard, the United States Army Band, and the United States Army Garrison. Before today's review begins, the United States Army Band, Pershing's Own, presents a pre-ceremonial concert featuring the following musical selections: El Capitan and the United States Army March. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States Army Band. Once again, good afternoon and welcome. Today, the United States Army Military District of Washington, represented by the soldiers of the 3rd United States Infantry Regiment, the Old Guard, and the United States Army Band, Pershing's Own, pay a special tribute to several soldiers who are retiring after many years of distinguished service to the United States Army and our nation. Participating in today's review, from left to right, is the United States Army Band, Pershing's Own. Formed in 1922 by then Army Chief of Staff, General John J. Pershing, the United States Army Band is the premier band of our senior service. Pershing's Own provides musical support for ceremonies and special events in our nation's capital and throughout the United States. The United States Army Band is under the direction of Lieutenant Colonel Randy Bartell and led by Drum Major Rob Moore. Elements of the Old Guard include Honor Guard Company, commanded by First Lieutenant John King, and led by Sergeant First Class Alfonso Roman. Next on line is Bravo Company, commanded by First Lieutenant Connor Stevenson, and led by Sergeant First Class Juan Caniche. Next on line is Charlie Company, commanded by Captain Peter Nedekoven, and led by First Sergeant Jared Dillon. Following is the Commander-in-Chief's Guard, patterned after the unit created by General George Washington in 1776 to be his personal guard. The Commander-in-Chief's Guard is commanded by Captain Bernard Witchen and led by Staff Sergeant Tyler McKay. The last element online, dressed in the Continental Musician's uniform, is the United States Army Old Guard Fife and Drum Corps. During the American Revolution, musicians wore the reverse colors of their parent infantry unit. The men and women of the United States Army Old Guard Fife and Drum Corps maintain this tradition by wearing red coats instead of the infantry blue. The Corps is led today by Drum Major Shane Nichols. Ladies and gentlemen, moving into position is the commander of troops for today's ceremony, Lieutenant Colonel Peter C. Vangel, Commander, 4th Battalion, 3rd United States Infantry Regiment, the Old Guard. Since the days of the American Revolution, the colors have been one of the most important elements of a military unit. Therefore, taking the center of our formation in just a moment and bearing the national color is the nation's foremost color team, the 3rd Infantry's Continental Color Guard, led by Sergeant Nicholas Cook. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the advancing of the colors.
Advance the colors!
Please be seated. The history of the 3rd United States Infantry Regiment reflects the growth and development of our nation. 55 well-earned battle streamers, 2 valorous unit awards, 3 meritorious unit commendations, and 5 superior unit awards attest to the Old Guard's record of bravery in action and achievements during peacetime. In 1922, the War Department granted permission for the Old Guard to pass in review with bayonets fixed. The Old Guard will now fix bayonets to the traditional beat of the drum.
Sound, fix bayonets.
Ladies and gentlemen, taking the reviewing stand are the reviewing officials for today's ceremony. Colonel Mitchell H. Pollen and Sergeant Major Stanley L. Hall. Accompanied by the hosts, Colonel David B. Rowland, Commander, 3rd United States Infantry Regiment, the Old Guard, and Command Sergeant Major Veronica E. Knapp, Command Sergeant Major, Joint Task Force National Capital Region, Headquarters, Military District of Washington.
Order.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the advancing of the colors and remain standing for the United States National Anthem.
Colors, forward, march! Sir, the persons to be honored and the colors are present. Present the command. Shoulder, fire, and 1, and 2, and 3. Present. Arms. And 1, and 2, and 3. Detachment. Present. Arms.
Please be seated.
Order. Arms. Order. Arms. Order. Arms. And 1, and 2, and 3. Ceremonial. At ease. And 1, and 2. Step. Ceremonial. At ease.
At this time, Colonel Rowland and Command Sergeant Major Knapp are moving into position to honor the retirees. Please feel free to applaud your soldier as they are called. Headquarters Department of the Army Special Orders. By order of the Secretary of the Army, the following soldiers of the Department of the Army are retired. Colonel Mitchell H. Pollen, Medical Corps. Sergeant Major Stanley L. Hall, Military Intelligence. Colonel Carrie G. Benton, Veterinary Corps. Colonel Kristen L. Casto, Medical Services. Colonel Ethan L. Hall, Air Defense. Colonel Michael J. Kazara, Engineer. Colonel Robert Levy, Judge Advocate. Colonel Robert W. Matthews, Military Police. Colonel Myron B. McDaniels, Medical Services. Colonel Brandon S. Robbins, Infantry. Colonel Shannon J. Whiteman, Logistics. Colonel Jason A. Yoakum, Aviation. Lieutenant Colonel Christopher W. Burkhart, Engineer. Lieutenant Colonel J.G. Figursky, Military Intelligence. Lieutenant Colonel Lawrence A. Hicks, Air Defense. Lieutenant Colonel Maurice S. Lewis, Engineer. Lieutenant Colonel Clarence C. Scott, Military Intelligence. Major Christopher R. Ehlers, Engineer. Major Michael P. Jasper, Military Intelligence. Sergeant Major Matthew E. Dolson, Infantry. First Sergeant Erwin R. Orbe, Aviation. Master Sergeant Jonathan P. Gold, Military Intelligence. Master Sergeant Jennifer H. Yu, Quartermaster. Sergeant First Class Douglas E. Cash, Military Intelligence. Sergeant First Class Joshua D. Montgomery, Medical Corps. Staff Sergeant Melvin L. Shannon, Transportation. We are proud to recognize these soldiers' devotion to our country, and we wish them happiness and prosperity in their well-earned retirement. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the posting of the colors.
Post the colors. Step. Right. Face.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel Roland.
Well, distinguished guests, senior leaders, command sergeants major, friends, and above all, the soldiers and families to be honored today. Thank you for making the time to attend this retirement ceremony, and welcome to historic Joint Base Myer-Henderson Hall. On behalf of the Secretary of the Army, the Honorable Christine Wilmoth, Chief of Staff of the Army, General Randy George, and Sergeant Major of the Army, Michael Weimer, and Major General Trevor Brennenkamp, Commander, Military District of Washington, welcome. Another beautiful day here in the National Capital Region, and a great day to be a soldier. Before I address our distinguished retirees and families, I would like to take a moment and thank those who worked hard to make today such a special occasion. On the floor in front of you are the soldiers of the 3rd Infantry Regiment, the Old Guard, the Army's oldest active duty infantry regiment. You look tremendous, and your professionalism and precision honors those retiring here today. Thank you for your hard work and dedication, and thanks for serving in our Army. Let's give them a round of applause. Thanks also to the members of the United States Army's band, Pershing Zone. As always, you look and sound amazing and make these ceremonies all the more special. Let's give them a round of applause. The soldiers retiring here today joined the Army to be all they could be. Some joined the Army following Desert Shield and Desert Storm. Others, after America was attacked on 9/11. All has stood ready to meet the challenges and uncertainties of the global war on terror that brought almost 2 decades of continuous combat operations. They stand here today representing the best of America. Today we honor 26 soldiers and their families for their faithful and dedicated service to our nation and for being all they could be. Collectively, these soldiers represent 750 years of military service across our Army, with service around the globe in a variety of combat arms, combat support, and combat service support specialties. These soldiers, leaders, and their families answered our nation's call and have not only served during a period of persistent conflict, but also led and trained our young men and women to deploy in harm's way and do our nation's bidding. Our Army and our nation owes you a debt of gratitude for your service and sacrifice that can never be fully repaid. The medal and the U.S. flag are but a small token of appreciation for your service. Now, I'd like to take a moment to talk about our flag, Old Glory. That you receive a flag on the occasion of your retirement is significant. That is the symbol of our nation and recognized around the world. We have fought to protect the freedoms and our way of life. And we wear the stars and stripes proudly on our uniform, both at home and while deployed. The red color in the flag symbolizes hardness and valor, which each of you has personified as a soldier and leader of our Army, operating in austere conditions with limited resources to accomplish difficult missions. The white color refers to purity and innocence, which you have sought to protect both here and abroad. Finally, the blue color represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice, which each of you has demonstrated in the conduct of your duties as officers and NCOs. I am sure the flag holds a special meaning for each one of you, as it should, given your service to our nation. As you walk out of Conmy Hall today, take solace in knowing you leave behind an enduring legacy that lives on in the countless soldiers you have trained, mentored, and inspired. The Army is better because of your service. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for these great 26 soldiers. Now, we would be remiss if we did not take some time to thank the family members of each of these retiring soldiers. Your sacrifice and support over the past 20-plus years has been foundational to the success of each of these retirees, allowing them to accomplish their assigned mission and serve in the Army that they love. You have remained steadfast in your support during a time of war that necessitated family separations, and for that, you will never be adequately compensated. Please accept our eternal thanks on behalf of a grateful nation for all that you have endured as military families. We could not fulfill our obligations to our soldiers, the Army, and the nation without the love and support of our families. Please join me in a round of applause for our families and their retirees. Now, to our retiring soldiers, thank you for your service. You're warriors and soldiers for life. So, I humbly ask you take on one last task. Tell the Army story. Help maintain our all-volunteer Army by sharing your experiences with America's sons and daughters so that they might be inspired to follow in your footsteps and volunteer to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. We continue to serve as a shining example around the world because of men and women like you have volunteered to serve. So, again, on behalf of Secretary Wilmoth, General George, Sergeant Major of the Army Weimar, the Joint Task Force, Natural Capital Region, the Military District of Washington, and the Army, and a grateful nation, thank you. Good luck and Godspeed. Heed the Guardian, this will defend, and be all that you can be.
Hold, go. Okay, come.
One and two.
concludes the ceremony. Great job on the old guard, Pershing's on. Forward, march.
The United States Army is honored to have presented today's special ceremony. Thank you for attending and enjoy the rest of your day.